Now, in order to be clear about what I'm going to talk about today, I want to be able to address, we in America, we love acronyms. So we use these acronyms all the time. And you're going to see this acronym NICE. It stands for the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education. This little group, this organization, develops their standards underneath the National Institute for Standards and Technology. In the United States, the National Institute of Standards and Technology is responsible for things like, what's the exact time? How much does a pound weigh? And I think they still have people that measure hogsheads and firkins for all that. And so they have the ability to look at old standards and determine what they mean. They actually have actual yardsticks to measure. Thank you. I hope I'm not doing anything wrong. So it's important to understand that NIST is the organization that does our standards, and they have a whole group that work on cybersecurity standards. One of those groups is NICE, and I have the privilege of co-chairing their training and certification subgroup for cybersecurity. And that's going to be my opportunity to talk to you about this today. Please.
簡単、お分かりかと思うんですけど、NICE っていうのはサイバーセキュリティに関するようないろんな標準化的なことをしているので、そのNISTも多分皆さん知ってると思うんですけど、その下にある組織ということです。NISTはなんかさっき言ってたように、この1パウンドってどういう重さなんだと、いろんなものの標準化をしている団体で、その中でのサイバーセキュリティに関すること。で、彼はICSPを代表して、そこの中で活動していて、彼自身はいろんなアメリカの政府機関ともコンタクトがあるので、IC スクエアのメンバーを代表して、そういったことといろんなコミュニケーションをしているということをさっき言っておりました。
You would learn more if Oguma-san talked today than me, but he's grateful to at least humor me and let me talk today. The goals of this organization are here. There's three primary goals: to accelerate learning and skills development in cybersecurity, to nurture a diverse learning community, and to guide career development and workforce planning. So what this means, what this really does, is the US government decided we needed to look at who is in cybersecurity and what skills that require. Because as many of you know, there's no one job called cybersecurity. There's many jobs and they have many focuses. So how do we understand categories and then hire men and women to do these jobs? I don't know what's happening here in Japan with hiring, but in the United States, we have a real problem right now in cybersecurity. We have a problem of people don't know how to describe what skills, what knowledge, or what training men and women need to get in the field. So position descriptions from companies are often not accurate. So one of the challenges that NICE tries to take on is to help make sure that they're far more accurate. So one of the ways they do that is to break things, and that's why we use the term framework. So there are 7 primary areas that NICE looks at that can constitute the cybersecurity career field or profession. We talk about securely provisioning systems in security, analyzing, operating, and maintain, and you see what these other 5 areas are on this slide. This helps us improve communications about how to identify, recruit, develop, and retain men and women in our profession. This is why this is important to us at ISC Squared, is that we have to be involved in working with that. So we give to the government as a voice of the profession, but we're also accurately representing the profession to the government, and the government in return helps us better position our members for jobs. This is what's really critical for membership in this. And so this framework is available. You'll see this website if you want to go take a look, and you can take a look at the work that we've done in this area. There are 6 subgroups that meet on a monthly basis. I am privileged to be a member and actually the co-chair of the training and certification subgroup. These are the areas that they want to address in the United States to provide apprenticeships, deal with university and collegiate level training, Competitions, they're popular in the United States, where people do competitions for capture the flag and other related cybersecurity training. The term you see here is K through 12, and I think Guma-san did a good job explaining that. That is our elementary and secondary education in the United States, up until a young person gets to age 18. So that's from age 5 to age 18, address that. I, like I say, co-chair training and certification, and then of course, workforce management. And we are able to do that. And that's why I brought this information so you can look at how we break this down. We have some of the strategic goals for guiding career development, and you see what they are here on the slide. I have highlighted the publish and raise awareness because that's where I spend a lot of my time supporting both the members as well as giving advice to the United States government on how we go about these processes. How do we advance the needs and the requirements of our members? Because the world's changing for us in the United States, and I really don't understand if you're having the same impact here in Japan, but I know in the United States, people are, do you need a college degree to get in cybersecurity? Do you need a graduate degree, say a master's degree for this? What about specific training? Where do certifications fit in? All of these are being discussed and are important for us to have a voice in how that is being structured. And I'm privileged to be able to be that voice as your advocate with CISSP. So let's talk briefly about, there's again, in government, we have numbers, we have big documents, but what this really worked for us, there are 7 workforce categories here that we talk about. And these are the areas that we've taken to break down and make available what does it mean to be in cybersecurity. I see some of you taking pictures of these. What we're going to do is I'll work with my colleagues here to make them available to everybody so you can have copies of these slides. So you see that the audience that we see that becomes important for these include public and private sector, the employers, people that provide educational activities for students, technology developers, current and future cybersecurity workers, training, certification, and providers, including CISSP, and of course, one of my great opportunities to help influence policymakers. The problem we have in our government in the United States is a lot of people have opinions, and whether or not they have the knowledge and background to make intelligent decisions is sometimes debatable. So we have the privilege of being able to work with our government legislators to help them understand what opportunities exist in cybersecurity and how to address national level problems. This workforce categories allows us now to start doing a decomposition, a breakdown of the various roles that we have in cybersecurity. So if you look, here are those 7 areas, and you can see them listed here in the colors, various colors. And down this way, all right, we're able to look on the y-axis and see various roles and responsibilities that people take on in cybersecurity. So when people talk about what job do you do, we have a better way to describe what roles they play, what knowledge, skills, and abilities are then required for our individuals to be able to function effectively in these roles. This gives us 33 specialty areas. Those 7 I already talked about, and then the y-axis being more robust and filling out those areas. Now, of course, we're not satisfied to do just that. We have to break them down even further. So we see, for example, there's 6 specialty areas. This is just an example. I'm not going to break each and every one down for you. It would take too long. But you can see that we have work roles associated with each of these areas as well. And these help us understand what functions that people provide in that. Now, as you continue to work these down, this is what it looks like. You have the overarching category, one of the 7, the specialty areas, those you saw that on the slide, and then they break down into work roles. Below work roles are specific tasks, knowledge, and skills that we expect people to acquire to function effectively in the career field. What we've been able, I like this slide, hopefully this makes sense to you. We talked about the lexicon we developed at ISC Squared and why that's important. I personally believe that language is very, very important, because what we're in, when we say security, is one of the worst words you could use. And security is a terrible word because it represents an ideal like love. So what's security? It's not a binary concept whether secure or insecure or not secure. What it is we're really in the risk management business and helping organizations measure risk. So we need a lexicon, we need analysis of what roles in, and then understand proficiency that are required of men and women to be successful. This way allows us to do what you see in the middle here. That framework then allows us to help evaluate and manage career progression, human capital planning, all these other areas that you see that are critical to what we do. Again, we have a bad habit in the United States of overanalyzing sometimes, but this is a process that we've used now successfully in order to help better understand what this job field is. This will ultimately lead us toward a capable and ready cybersecurity workforce. How do you like this one? Well, like I say, this allows us, I'm just showing you how these work roles break down and allow you to start mapping these work roles and skills necessary to be effective. That's what these allow you to do. I only brought this as an example. There's no going to be a test on this one. I just wanted you to see what that looks like. And of course, then we have to do that with we have also a cybersecurity framework. And I want to mention this and be careful so I don't confuse you. NIST has a cybersecurity framework, as I said, and then underneath NIST is NICE. So that's the education and certification areas. So what we want to be able to do is map the skills people have to the way we define what cybersecurity is for the US federal government. So we're able to ask what, how, and then who we use. Because the challenge is being people the basis. We're asked constantly, what's the latest threat? What do we have to do to be more secure? And you know there's no real easy answer to that, because you'd have to answer that question every day. We at ISC Squared believe in training the workforce and certifying and managing men and women that can help build the careers. They'll answer these questions for these government agencies, for industry and academic institutions as we go forward. If we help equip the people to answer the questions, we're going to get better answers as we continue to advance and things change in our field. All right, let me get back here. So what we've done is taking the overall NIST framework, which talks about the career field in general, and then map it to the workforce, the men and women that do that. The NIST looks at what process takes place for mapping cybersecurity, and they have 5 primary areas of identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. What we then do is take and map those subcategories. That allows us to define what skill sets are necessary for men and women to be able to be effective in mapping these and being able to be effective. Again, I apologize, but I just wanted to show you what these areas and how they break down. You see the various primary 5 functions, and then there's categories of work roles that exist within each of those. One of the things that this does is add structure to what we talk about. And then it's not very simplistic. It's not just guessing. We have a way to actually understand what job descriptions need to look like and what skills men and women need to bring to be able to be effective. And again, I'm going to make these available to everyone. See again on the upper left, you have the same recover, identify. You have the 7 areas in the NICE framework. And then you'll see, again, this is an example over here on the right, where we talk about what is a subcategory and then what are the various work roles associated with it. You continue to build those out. If you get involved in this program or want more information, it's available, on their website. It's available on our website, and it gets very detailed. And I just wanted to bring these examples of what that is. So what does this really do for people? In the United States, one of the things that we've done is we work with CyberSeek to help develop what we call a heat map. Where are the jobs and where are they available and who can apply for them? So this kind of an approach allows us to look at specific states and territories within the United States and find out who's hiring and what roles they're hiring for in cybersecurity. We look at nationally as well and be able to understand what the roles are. You've heard the workforce gap, but you know 2/3 of the workforce gap is in the Asia Pacific region. It's not in North America, and it's not in Europe, the Middle East, or Africa. It's here in the Asia Pacific region where the most dynamism and growth currently exists. Please.
Could you go back?
Yep. Go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
すみません。資料はですね、ちょっとあれなんですけど、資料は後ほど皆さんにお渡しいたします。ちょっと方法までは決まってないんですけども、お渡しすることはできます。であと、これの資料はですね、アメリカの州の中でどういったところで雇用がいっぱいあって、人材ギャップがあるかというお話なんですけれども、やっぱりグローバルで見ると、やっぱアジアパシフィックが一番その人材が不足しているリージョンであるというような統計が出ているということを言っております。はい。
ありがとうございます。Thank you so much. And then we can take this information and continue to build it out to look for specific areas. And this will help our students understand what skills they have and where they can get involved and where they have more likely opportunity to advance their skills and profession in cybersecurity. So we're really excited about working with them to do that. We have a variety of resources that I wanted to make available to you, and they're available on this slide. You can take a look. There's that CyberSeek where you can take a look at where the jobs are located, some various one-pagers on it, tutorials, and a variety of other resources that we have available to you. If you have the opportunity to look at the ISC² website, you'll see there's a page that I'm privileged to be part of there called Advocacy. And if you click on that page, you can also get down to the research areas that I get to work on. So I had the opportunity to work on a variety of research areas in workforce development and would invite you to take a look and be able to see those areas there.